The courtroom was packed. Reporters lined the back wall. Law students filled the gallery. Everyone had come to watch the case of 17-year-old Jaden Carter. The black teenager sat quietly beside his public defender. According to the prosecutor, Jaden had been involved in a vandalism incident that caused thousands of dollars in damage. The evidence seemed convincing. Witness statements, security footage, police reports. But something felt off, especially to Judge Eleanor Grant. The judge watched as prosecutor Richard Wallace stood confidently before the jury. Wallace had a reputation. He was ambitious, aggressive, and willing to do almost anything to win. Today, he seemed unusually eager. He pointed toward Jaden. This young man believes the rules don't apply to him. Jaden lowered his eyes. The prosecutor smirked. Perhaps he spent his entire life avoiding consequences. Several people in the courtroom shifted uncomfortably. The comments felt personal, not professional. But Wallace continued. For nearly an hour, he attacked Jaden's character, his neighborhood, his friends, his family, anything that might influence the jury. Jaden remained silent. His attorney repeatedly objected. Most objections were sustained. Yet Wallace kept pushing. Finally, the prosecutor held up a photograph. This image places the defendant at the scene. The jury examined it carefully. Wallace smiled. The case is obvious. Then Judge Grant noticed something. A timestamp. A very strange timestamp. She leaned forward. Counselor, approach. The prosecutor walked to the bench. The judge quietly asked a few questions. Wallace suddenly looked nervous. The judge's eyes narrowed. Then she examined another document. And another. Something wasn't right. Very wrong. Court resumed. The judge stared directly at Wallace. Where exactly did this evidence originate? The prosecutor hesitated. That hesitation changed everything. The room became silent. Wallace cleared his throat. The police investigation. The judge wasn't convinced. She ordered the documents reviewed immediately. Within 30 minutes, the courtroom atmosphere had completely changed. A forensic analyst discovered alterations. Several files had been modified. Key details had been removed. Evidence had been manipulated. Gasps spread through the gallery. Judge Grant looked furious. The prosecutor's face turned pale. Then came the worst discovery. The altered evidence had been submitted directly through Wallace's office. The courtroom exploded with whispers. Jaden looked stunned. His attorney smiled for the first time all day. The judge called for order. Then she turned toward Wallace. Do you understand the seriousness of what I'm looking at? The prosecutor said nothing. Judge Grant's voice became colder. You may have attempted to frame an innocent teenager. Silence. Nobody moved. Nobody spoke. Then something unexpected happened. A man entered through the rear courtroom doors. Every head turned. Several federal security officers immediately stood. The man walked calmly toward the front. Expensive suit. Confident posture. Serious expression. Judge Grant recognized him instantly. Her eyes widened. The courtroom buzzed. People whispered. The prosecutor looked confused. Then terrified. The man stopped beside Jaden. Jaden smiled. Dad. The room froze. The prosecutor's face lost all color. Judge Grant stood. Not because she had to. Because she was shocked. The man nodded politely. My apologies for arriving late. The courtroom knew exactly who he was. Attorney General Marcus Carter. One of the most powerful legal officials in the country. Gasps echoed throughout the room. Wallace looked like he might collapse. Judge Grant stared. This is your son? Marcus Carter nodded. Yes. The courtroom erupted. Reporters rushed to write notes. Cameras clicked. The prosecutor stood frozen. For hours he had mocked Jaden. Insulted him. Treated him like he had nobody behind him. Now everyone knew the truth. But Marcus Carter wasn't angry. He simply looked at the judge. Your Honor, I trust justice will take its course. The judge nodded. It already has. Minutes later, Judge Grant dismissed all charges against Jaden. Then she ordered an investigation into Wallace's conduct. The prosecutor sat speechless. His career was collapsing before his eyes. As the courtroom emptied, Jaden walked beside his father. The reporters chased after them. Everyone wanted a statement. Marcus Carter simply smiled. The truth doesn't care who your father is. Then he looked at Jaden. But today, I'm proud to be yours. For the first time all day, Jaden smiled. And behind them, the lawyer who thought he could destroy a teenager realized he had just targeted the wrong family.